Continue today. The court sets the procedures to be followed by all the parties throughout the hearing. Our reporter Francis Ontomoa will be telling us more about this pre-trial process. Good morning, Francis. What time are we expecting this conference to start?
Well, Betty, any moment from now, we should be getting into the court to start the pre-trial conference in earnest. And basically, as you say that, as you put it right, this is basically what you may call an icebreaker, really to set ground for this trial to begin. And yesterday's decision to grant bail to this suspect hasn't affected in any way the calendar of events. And therefore, today we'll be kicking off this entire thing in earnest. What a pre-trial conference entails basically is to ensure that the ground rules are set by both the prosecution, the defense side, both of them to give whatever they want to give as far as anything that will be concerned in driving forward this entire process is concerned. And one of the things that we expect here is to expect the prosecution to give their pieces of evidence, submit this to the defense side so that the defense side can start in earnest really preparing for the case. And also this is the time also to know how many witnesses will be in this case, verify documents from both sides, try and ensure that everything that is supposed to be scrutinized is scrutinized in earnest so that when the entire process begins, they can actually kick off without any hitches. We are told that the suspects will also be here today in court here, so that we expect all the top suspects, all the 40-plus suspects who are in this case to be here. And basically, this is also to give them audience, to give them room. Should they need to give should they inject anything into this process as it begins, they should be able to give their views. And therefore, today, basically, it is what you may call an icebreaker to try and set the rules for this entire process, Betty.
All right, so Francis, after this icebreaker, are we expecting the cases to start as soon as tomorrow?
Well, I may need actually to scrutinize further the calendar of events. That, of course, will also be part of what will be determined today on how things will be flowing right from here. But then basically, having set the rules today, things should be able to flow in earnest. And just to give you a bit of a recap of what has been transpiring, perhaps we may need to update our viewers what happened yesterday. Of course, yesterday we had the grant that was given to this suspect, 5 million each. That is a bond of 5 million, surety of 2 million, and also a cash bill of 1 million. There were concerns raised by part of the defense talking about that this could be a bit heavy for some of these suspects, and that is part of what may actually sneak in today's pre-trial conference to know how things will be flowing. So basically, it is that is it as at now. We are waiting the judges, the lawyers, the family members. They're all streaming in here. It is, of course, promising also to be another important and a very busy day here for the suspect and the entire scrutiny of this NYS saga, Betty.
All right, Francis, finally, do we know if all the suspects were able to raise the money for the bond and the bail?
Well, no one knows yet, Betty, because I've been speaking to lawyers here representing the suspects. They are saying that they presented what transpired in court yesterday was submitted to the suspects, and basically no one knows actually who is out, who is not yet out at the moment, and therefore it's a question of waiting to see how things will be moving. So as at now, as we are speaking right now, we don't know yet who is in, who hasn't left. There were concerns, of course, by some of the suspects saying that the penalties were a bit high. They cannot manage the bond, and therefore this may be a bit of hitches to some of them. But then those who can afford and be able to meet the stringent measures that were given here by the court can be able to go out and start this trial outside as free men and women. But then there were those stringent measures that I may want also to give perhaps a recap to you. There were orders that they must report to the Gigiri DCI offices at least once every week, and there were also orders that they submit their travel document, these including their passport and everything here in court, so that perhaps a measure to ensure that they are not flight risks, they are not able to evade the entire judicial process. There were also directions given to them that they should not be able to be in direct communication with any witnesses in this case, and they should not also go back to their offices unaccompanied by police officers. Those are some of the measures that came out yesterday, and anyone who will meet all these requirements by the courts here is able to go out and follow the entire process outside as a free man or woman.
All right, Francis Ontoma will be keeping tabs on what's happening at the Millie